The barrage of sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands, and days before an arrest. Here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot.
Okay, good morning.
In 2021, it seemed as if Pooh Shiesty was the next biggest thing, signing to Gucci's 1017 label to collabing with Lil Durk. Then, within the flip of a switch, the Memphis rapper was sentenced to 5 years inside of prison, including a serious jail incident after snitching allegations started to rise. The crime that Shiesty was sentenced to 63 months was an armed robbery set up via Instagram DMs. Setting up a meet for high-end sneakers, including narcotics, Pooh Shiesty is seen arriving to the meet driving a bright green McLaren. Awaiting the seller's arrival, Shiesty and his boy created a plan to steal the items against these 2 men rather than pay for it. Once arriving, the 2 men would bring the sneakers to Pooh Shiesty, who was sitting inside of his green McLaren. Shiesty was doing a legit check on the pair of sneakers, giving his boy enough time to get into position for what is about to go down. While negotiating a price for the goods, a small argument would brew, then leading into Shiesty hopping out of his green McLaren, pulling a firearm from out of his waistband, and beginning to use it against the 2 men that are sprinting away. The 2 men were trying to duck behind their own vehicle. Sadly, they were not quick enough. Shiesty ended up hitting both of the men, hitting one in the backside and one in the hip. While Shiesty was handling the 2 men, Shiesty's boy was in charge of grabbing the sneakers and narcotics out of their vehicle. He then quickly grabbed the goods and started sprinting to his side of the McLaren. Meanwhile, Pooh Shiesty is making sure that his job is done, then sprinting to his side of the vehicle, opening up the butterfly door and trying to get a quick getaway. This vehicle had what is known as butterfly doors, meaning the car doors go upwards. With the car door going upwards, a Louis Vuitton bag that was stored in the side pocket of the door would then land onto the ground inside of the parking lot. However, Pooh Shiesty never realized this, left the bag on the ground, and then began driving away. This Louis V bag had $40,912 in cash, and it played a huge role in the evidence against Shiesty, but more on that later. Pooh Shiesty went straight to the closest Miami airport, where him and his friend would rent a private jet, flew straight out of Miami, and thought they had the best getaway of all time. However, Shiesty would be arrested in the days following.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted with He's also charged with armed robbery, battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet.
As once Shiesty was booked into jail, he would quickly bond out for $30,000 cash. Then after being on bond for 2 months, Shiesty would then be officially arrested for the charges.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you. You have 2 attorneys here. Or is it, I'm sorry, 2 attorneys in the state. Go ahead. Do you want to announce again?
Brad Cohen and Sam Zegny for the defendant.
Have you had a chance to review the arrest warrant?
Yes, Judge, we have.
As fast forward to April 20th, roughly 4 months after his court appearance, DJ Akademiks would tweet, "Breaking, Pooh Shiesty sentenced to 63 months in prison. He was facing 8 years." As the Memphis rapper would be officially sentenced to 63 months for firearm charges and robbery, which seems very low, and it is for one specific reason. Pooh Shiesty created what is called a proffer deal with the feds. Many mix this up with snitching, but let me explain. A proffer is when the criminal proves additional detailed information to the feds relating to the offense for which immunity, or in his case, a lesser sentence is then granted. Shiesty used this proffer deal to have the charges of almost life in prison dropped in exchange for a 63-month sentence. However, now we're seeing rappers call out Shiesty for working with the feds, giving them information on the case as well as those involved. As it does sound as if Shiesty did snitch, however, in reality, reality, he only snitched on himself, giving the judge and prosecutors the information on himself, why he decided to do the robbery. This way he would make the trial process as simple as possible, as Shiesty would outline the mistakes that he made in this crime. First mistake was that he just committed an armed robbery right beside a police station. The video footage you see here is recorded from a police station camera, as once the sound of firearms in the area were heard, several police cars then arrived to the parking lot. Then, with law enforcement knowing exactly the location of this armed robbery, it didn't take long for them to just look through the recording tapes from the video camera across the street. Also, with the police arriving to the scene as fast as they did, they retrieved the Louis Vuitton bag that was on the ground. This Louis V bag had the $40,000 in cash. The feds already had an idea of who committed this robbery, so they went to Pooh Shiesty's Instagram and downloaded a few photos. These photos were of Pooh Shiesty stretching many $100 bills across of his body, as these photos were then zoomed in by the feds so they can see the serial numbers on the bills. With creative police work, they noticed that one of the photos had a serial number on a $100 bill that ended up matching one of the $100 bills found inside of the Louis V bag, as this is the most intensive police work I've ever seen. However, this then leads into the biggest mistake of them all, Pooh Shiesty posting a selfie with the green McLaren that he just committed an armed robbery in the same day he did it. Yes, Pooh Shiesty posted a selfie with the bright green McLaren that he just committed an armed robbery in while he was on the private jet out of Miami. He did an armed robbery and then posted selfies flexing the vehicle 2 hours after the crime. Then it wouldn't even be a year later than while he was in prison, Shiesty's team would then release a music video titled Gone MIA, flexing the same all-green McLaren as well. Some things that you just can't make up. However, rappers continued calling Pooh Shiesty a snitch. This caused him to have a very bad rep inside of jail. This is then why Big 30 would even vouch for him, as things were getting serious inside of jail for him.
My mama, if you see some paperwork, my mama, I do whatever y'all tell me to do, cause my eyebrows, mustache, hair, I throw my chains in the river and jump in and if Shiesty snitch. Go home, take one to the I ain't got no more rat.
As after Big 30 vouched, Pooh Shiesty himself would then even send a message for us while in jail, which goes and reads, King Shiesty tapping in from the middle of the penitentiary, aka a bad place, where they say I can't go. Jailing? No telling. I still remain untouched. Millions still in double digits. Tell Google to fix my net worth. We can verify it right now. Yeah, I'm locked up, but I'm not messed up. I was 21, up 8 figures. Jay-Z can't even relate to my money. Triple my followers. Stop playing with my name before I buy one of you for sale. You guys aren't anything. I put on for this CG stuff every day. Twice on Sundays, I'm on the same stuff from Tokyo to Tennessee. Ain't gonna go fed to start getting scared. No one's ever played with me free or in jail. I'm still the man of Memphis, still the king no matter what jungle. Slick, almost the same man, just a little more powerful. You know what I'm talking about, baby Larry. How you gonna let a man in the feds outdo you? You can't beat me at crawling backwards. You're gonna have to go get your hand and your stick game up before you could do some with me. Stop playing so much. For my fans, supporters, loved ones holding me down every day, keep keeping it solid. I promise it doesn't go unnoticed. I see everything and got some special for all word is law. The rest of you guys are done. Keep hating, false advertising, backbiting, and counting me out. It up and stuck like a treehouse. I'm touching down. I got a Dorito on my shoulder. I'm going 100% on you guys. As Pooh Shiesty is still standing tall in jail. However, he also shared a message during an interview before he got arrested, which is important to hear.
Really, when I got signed, but I'm gonna tell you before I got signed, like breaking news. The verse on breaking news made everybody go crazy. And folks started saying I'm their favorite rapper already, so I'm gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just made me go harder.
So the success kind of gave you the confidence to really keep it up?
Yeah, they rocking with me for sure.
Man.
It's in my first verse.